Hello everybody. As you have seen the title of this video, you know how I said new year, new me, that means reading my TBR list? Well, derailing just slightly because of this wonderful video idea I got from TikTok. So, hello everybody, my name's Erica and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a continuing watcher or subscriber. Now you're probably wondering, the heck? We're going to be reading the Twilight Saga, or at least Twilight in this vlog. What happened to the other series that you need to finish, and also the books on your TBR? Well, you know, TikTok gives me wonderful ideas and brainstorming ideas to do, and I figured for a fun theme for the vlogs for at least a few months, I want to read the Twilight Saga again, because it has been a while since I've read the Twilight Saga. It's been at least since towards the end of high school, if not beginning of college, since I've read this series. And I've been out of college since 2019, so it's been, oh wow, it's been 6 years since I've been a freshman in college. 1 or 2 years added onto that since I've been an upperclassman in high school. Wow, I feel old. I figured I wanted to reread this series. Now, the reason why I kind of want to reread this series, because this may be my last time rereading them, just because I wanted to go on a fun nostalgia trip that this series brought to me. I was part of the whole craze, what we called Twihard fans, back in middle school. It held special places in my heart as one of my favorite, probably, series that I ever read. However, my thoughts have kind of changed, and it definitely kind of changed when I reread them towards the end of high school, beginning of college, of how I kind of felt about Stephenie Meyer as an author. However, since it's been a while since I've read the series, I want to go on a nostalgia trip and reread the series so I can actually better convey my thoughts of what I did like that the books did and what I didn't like. So to give more of an honest review of these books. Now, I have recently listened to Twilight as an audiobook when I did my childhood favorites vlogs and reads. But do you really think I remembered most of the plot? No. Because if I don't write anything down, I won't remember it anymore. Just because I have so many things that go through my brain in a day. Unless it was and that also shows how very memorable this story was. The whole series was. I can remember key points in the books, and synopsis of the plot, because I did enjoy the movies. However, any detail I don't really remember. So, and that's probably how much of an impression the story left on me. There's your example right there, probably. But I figured I would go ahead and do this, and it'll be a fun vlog activity for at least this month and the next few months while we reread this. And also, it kind of gets me prepped for, too, that I started Midnight Sun when it came out, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take my bookmark out of it, and we're just going to read it like it's the first time, because I don't remember any of it. And, of course, if anybody doesn't know what Midnight Sun is, it is pretty much the whole retelling of the whole saga in Edward's point of view. But, hello and welcome to another vlog. That is pretty much what we're going to do for the week. I will probably take you along a little bit when I work, but this one is just strictly going to be a reading vlog. So, pretty much my updates are going to be reading or talking about what I have read so far. So, and trying to stick to that, but we might add some few things here and there just to make the vlog a little bit more, put a little spice on the vlog or something like that. Is that it? Or finesse into the vlog? What word am I looking for? And I will also be sticky noting these books. Now, I do have multiple copies of the Twilight books because I do like, so I have them in paperback, except the paperback for Twilight I have is the mass copy one that came out with the Twilight movie, just because growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of money, so the mass paperbacks, even though I don't particularly like them, were a lot more affordable. And later on, I bought these actually from Half Price Books and BAM when they were pretty cheap. So I have the hardcovers and the paperbacks to these. So I figured I would take the hardcovers and I will annotate them. So, and leave the paperbacks as like my kind of fancy copies. But plus I also like having multiple copies of sometimes some of my favorite books. So in case if I never get a copy back, I'm not like upset. Unless they're like the Court of Thorns and Roses books, which I will never lend out because I love all of my editions of the Court of Thorns and Roses books. So. And if you can't tell, I'm being very chaotic because it's been a while since I've done a vlog, so. But I figured, enough of my rambling. Let's go ahead and get to reading. Okay, before I start, I was going to show you guys something that I got that is kind of like an office supply, but I figured this would be really great when I annotate books such as like Twilight or anything. But this is like my little at-home kind of like sticky note or flags that I use. And I bought this off of Amazon. It was pretty cheap, and they come, and I think these can be refilled. So it comes in like a little container like this that sits on my desk next to my mic under my monitor. And you get kind of like some big sticky notes that are like here. So you get a pink one and like a yellowish tan color. And it's, I think, the same over here where you get smaller ones. It comes in the tan color and then like a light mint green color. And then you have all of the little flags. And all of them come out. So, because I think the way you have to start them, oh no, they start here. But they all can come in here and I think, or be put in here. And I feel like you can refill them. So I'll have to figure out. But it also comes with a calendar. I didn't realize that. So that's neat. But, so I wanted to go through my system, and I have it written down here, and I'll probably keep it in here so I can remember my system. But, so red flags are literally red flags. Something that's like disturbing that a character did that I would consider a red flag, especially in relationships. And I have a feeling I'm going to be using this a lot because thinking I'm back of how Edward was like the perfect boyfriend and like swooned over him. However, he had a lot of red flags. Let's be real. And so did Jacob. So I'm going to be using this a lot. I already have a feeling. Orange is upsetting or kind of like something that made me angry that happened. Whether that be the plot or something how Stephanie Meyer wrote something in. So this one will be what made me like upsetty spaghetti. Yellow, I haven't figured out what to use yellow for yet. I kind of almost want to I don't know. So maybe we might not use yellow. Green, I'm going to say this is like the plots that I thought were okay. Like green light, like safe to go. I did like kind of like something like that. So you kind of have like red, yellow, green. Maybe we should do red, yellow, green. Light, like stoplights, and do yellow like my upsetty spaghetti, like caution of watch yourself. But blue I'm gonna have for the major plot points. So pretty much anytime there's like a big thing in the plot, I'm gonna put a blue tab. As well as purple is going to be the scenes that I loved. And there are scenes in the Twilight Saga that I did love. I just can't remember some of them. Maybe yellow could be the one thing that we don't... Maybe yellow can be like, okay, that wasn't really important. You didn't have to write that. Maybe we'll make yellow that. Alright, so yellow is not important. Hot pink, I have foreshadowing moments. I figure that can go really good in contrast with the blue for the plot points and foreshadowing moments. And then the pink is going to be romance scenes. Because technically there is romance scenes in this, but who knows, I might be partnering this with a lot with like ones from up here. Now, the big pink are going to be my notes because every 50 pages I'm going to put a little tab right here and I'm going to put this and I'm going to write down how I feel every 50 pages. Like, how am I feeling right now? Am I bored? Am I interested? Is maybe highlight something like either on that page or put a page number down saying reference to sticky tab on this page and put like maybe an angry face if it really upset me or something like that. So just to write notes. So that is my sticky note tab explanation. And so let's go ahead and get to reading. Hopefully I have enough juice. My phone is plugged in. I may have, if my phone just like, if the video just randomly shuts off weirdly, my phone probably died. So All right, so I just got to I just got to chapter 4, which is, I guess if I'm saying page 68. I was gonna say something at page 50, but I felt like I was just in the middle of things, so I want to get to the end of a chapter. But I forgot how more in depth Bella's character is, and it kind of gives me a little bit more of a respect for the way Kristen Stewart played Bella, even though she felt plain in the movie. It gave her character more of a warm, kind of understanding, not so bratish like in the book, because she, like, okay, so one of the scenes when Charlie said that he bought her a truck, she literally had an absolute fit, and she, like, kept saying how she detested Forks, how she didn't even like her father, even though the guy tried to be the best father he could and be there. She had, like, this grudge against him and always called him Charlie, like, when she talked to her mom about it. Like, she was acting like a brat. And I totally forgot about that. So it kind of gives me a newfound respect for Kristen and the way, Kristen Stewart, the way she played Bella in the movies. And it also reaffirms how I don't like Bella at all as a main character. Because that was, wow. I completely forgot that. Also, too, there's a lot of description of how clumsy Bella is, how sarcastic and brooding she is. And I feel like that was really not necessary in the beginning to always emphasize that she's clumsy, how sarcastic and brooding she is compared to Edward. Because Edward's supposed to be brooding, right? A broody teenager that's lived, 100 and some odd years and kind of hates his existence, kind of wants to unalive a little bit. But Bella is, like, such a doom and gloom, bratty character that she just takes the cherry on top. So I feel like Edward moves from number 1 and goes down to, like, number 2 of the characters I dislike in this book. Oh boy. Oh boy. But there is a couple of moments that I did like. So I do have a couple of, like, purple tabs and a green tab. Like, the first purple tab I had was, the genuine scene of, like, the first snow on page 41 where Edward, Jasper, and Emmett are laughing and actually showing emotion. That was really nice. But there's a lot of red flags. Little red tabs in here, too, of, like, Edward's behavior. And how, I don't know, where he just became this, like, very manipulative and flirtatious person right off the get-go. And it's like... And I'm also doing the red flags of, like, his behavior and where Bella's, like, really questioning. Like, she's really questioning at the beginning, but, like, any sane person who's noticing these, like, blunt changes, instead of, like, would, like, move, like, shy away from him, no, she's intrigued. And I'm like... No! So, a lot of red flags, but I'm going to pause reading there for now because I noticed that the new After movie dropped on Netflix. So I think I'm going to go get some snacks and watch that after, because I was also listening to Twilight in the background. I have the movie on. But I might just cancel it out because I've seen this movie way too many times. And watch After We Fell. Also, probably you might see me read a little bit of the book 4 of the Bridgerton series, which follows Colin's story, or Penelope, I should say. And actually both of them. I might be reading that here and there here just to break up the monotony, but mostly focusing on this book. So I wanted to say that before. Knowing me, I'm probably going to forget to update you guys or even say goodnight to you guys later on. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm going to go watch After We Fell. So, hi everybody. So, as you saw down below, it's Wednesday. I did not vlog at all, but that does not mean I did not read at all. So, I had every intention to blog. I had every intention to vlog yesterday, but I was in a weird mood of wanting just to get stuff done, but then also not wanting to get stuff done. Like, pretty much after, especially since I wanted to do it after I got off work, I was like, I don't really want to. Went to a club meeting, came back, and I knew I needed to get reading so that I had something for the day and to let you guys know how far I've gotten in Twilight. But I just literally sat down and just zoned out for the rest of the night. So I do apologize. However, I did want to talk about another book that I have been listening to the audiobook, which is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is Colin and Penelope's story, because I am almost finished with that, and oh my word, like, I am having such a hard time trying to choose which is like my favorite so far that I have read. And I've only read 4 books. And that just shows how much I love this series. Like, it's a rom-com, historical fiction. It's kind of cheesy in some ways, but I just absolutely adore it. I adore all of the characters. They have their own, like, fun personalities and quirkiness. And to be honest, I will have to say, and who knows, when I keep reading I might change my mind, but so far I think Penelope is my favorite, like, female protagonist now. Like, I really loved Daphne, Kate, and who was the other one? Benedict's wife. Oh, Sophie. I really loved them, especially Kate. But Penelope, this book, you got to dive in more into her, because she's a wallflower. There wasn't really much talked about other than saying that she was Eloise's, like, best friend, and she knew the Bridgertons growing up since she was young because of how her friendship with Eloise and how she secretly loved Colin. I will have to say Penelope is my favorite one, and of course you get the biggest bombshell, like, in the last third of the book of who Lady Whistledown is. Now, of course, if you've watched the TV show, it already hints at who it is, and it doesn't surprise me, and I already had a feeling it was going to be this character, but I'm not trying to give away spoilers, but oh wow. I'm almost finished with it. I'm like under 50 pages away with the audiobook from finishing it, so I figured probably when I go start traveling up north to go see Fancy and my friend, probably gonna listen to the rest of it. Also, Crown of Midnight it was up. I had a hold on it on Libby, and that is now, I have that checked out, so we'll probably start that as an audiobook. But of course, this vlog is about Twilight, so of course let's get to Twilight. So I have gotten to page 157, and so far my collective thoughts are, don't get me wrong, Edward and Bella do have some liners in here so far that I chuckle at, like, I enjoy. So don't get me wrong, I don't totally hate their characters, but I just dislike how their characters act and are. Edward has definitely, I have quite a few red flags in here. One of them being, where is it? Bella is outside. She accidentally falls asleep, and she, like, whips up, and she's like, realizing the light was gone behind the trees, I had fallen asleep. I looked around, muddled with a sudden feeling that I wasn't alone. I put a red flag on that because what does Edward do? We all know what Edward does. He stalks her. I don't care how people say, well, it's because he has a sense of need to protect her. No, that's stalking. That is complete stalking, and it's weird. It's like, cool, like, great, you're protecting me and all, but you can't control your bloodlust right now, and my blood you could describe as, like, your own brand of heroin, and you're watching me sleep, contemplating if you should bite my neck or not. And no. And of course, as we continue, I keep writing down how much Bella is kind of a brat and throws temper tantrums. Obviously, in the movies, again, Kristen Stewart, I feel, does the character more justice by showing more of that quirky side of how she's not like the other girls at Forks. She's different, but is nice about it, not as brattish, doesn't throw temper tantrums all the time. She actually acts like what she's supposed to be, which was a more mature 17, 18-year-old. Stephenie Meyer wants everybody to believe, but I can't believe that she's supposed to be older than her years when she throws temper tantrums. There's a huge juxtaposition here. Like, come on. And also, I get it. Author, I get it. She's supposed to be not like other girls, so she goes towards the classics like Jane Austen or Charlotte Bronte. Like, I get it. You don't need to keep throwing in her favorite books are by Jane Austen or something like that. Sense or Sensibility or anything. It almost just, I didn't realize how much, like, at the beginning, the author crammed down your throat of that Bella's different. Even though she kind of still acts like everybody else. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. So, as I was saying before getting into the Twilight, I am going up today because today is supposed to be the warmer of the 2 coldest days of the week, which is today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is only supposed to be like the high of 3 with the wind chill, making it feel obviously below 0. Excuse me, just a minute. Sorry about that. My uncle's here watering the buffalo because I think this morning he couldn't water them. So, because of how cold it was. But, where was I? Oh, so pretty much since today is supposed to be a little bit warmer and my friend is off, I'm going to head up there. Actually, I'm going to leave here probably within the next like 10 minutes. I'm going to go get some bedding because she needs bedding for the horses up there because the Baumgars where she lives has been out of bedding for a while. So, but I think she said she was able to get some yesterday before going to work, having to work. So hopefully, but I told her I'll bring up at least 4 so you have something to get at least through the cold snaps because she, with how cold it is, she does keep the Arabians inside. So, and that includes my horse Fancy. But today she's off and I believe there's supposed to be a new farrier that's coming up, and I kind of wanted to meet her because she may be doing ties in the spring if I can't get his usual person up. Plus I can kind of feel her out and kind of let her know like, well, I might have a horse that you can do. He has an issue sometimes with his back feet if I can't get him lunged. He's a prima donna. That's the only way I can explain it. Ty's a prima donna. But also there is another opportunity that my friend told me that would be interesting because there is another friend of hers because she bought their old acreage who has Frisian horses, and I guess she needs a picture taken of a horse and wanted to know if she would help, and my friend thought that would be kind of a cool, interesting thing to tag along so I can see her horses. So, and I've met this person a couple of times, and she's invited me to stuff too. Like, she's like, hey, we're having a taco night for New Year's Eve. You want to come? And I'm like, I mean, sorry, I already have plans, but heck yeah, I would. Get some reading done in the car, but I figured I'll update you guys on what I'm doing today. I do plan on reading Twilight more, but it'll probably be later today. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be home, so, but I do have to go let my boyfriend know that I am leaving, so yeah. But anyways, I will let you guys go and I will update you guys later. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. Sorry I did not vlog much yesterday. I, to be honest, forgot to vlog. It's pretty much what happened. There's like no excuse. I just forgot. I was planning on reading when I got home, but I literally sat down on the couch and I was feeling myself wanting to pass out. So I just decided, it's not going to retain or stick if I'm reading when I'm tired. So I just ended up going to bed. I slept downstairs because the bedroom was a little chilly. So, and sorry if I sound a little groggy. I haven't had anything to eat or drink yet. I've got toaster waffles currently toasting. So today is a very cold one. This morning was negative 16, even at it's now negative 12 at 10 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock, I should say, about quarter till. But this morning when I went to go feed the horses at 8:30, it was negative 16. So It is a cold one out. I was planning on going to work and researching for a little bit, but to be honest, it is way too cold to be out there. I still have to go there because I have to meet my treasurer, who has a whole bunch of stuff from the mailbox for me. And I believe she might be giving me my W-2 form, so I need to get that. Not a whole lot going to do today. I also decided this week to go back to working 7.5 hours each day to have Friday through Saturday off, because it seems that my friend who I went to go see yesterday where Fancy's up at, she gets like sometimes every other Friday off, and I do want to start going up there about twice a week to see her while the weather's still good, so in case if I can't see her for a week, at least, you know, I don't feel so guilty. So I might be heading back up there tomorrow, just because I don't really have much to do besides obviously vlog and read, but I can get that done at night. So, but currently I am working. I'm researching. I don't know if a lot of you guys that are watching this video are wrestling fans, but my hometown is very, and this will give away my hometown if you know the wrestling scene. We had the world heavyweight champion that won his title in 1908 by the name of Frank Gotch. Now, I just gave away where I live, but please do not put it down in the comments, because I do want to try to keep my hometown as private as possible, even though I have named the towns north and south of where I live. So, I still kind of don't like to mention it a whole lot. Or if you've seen the videos of me at the museum in the background, there's a couple of books that do give away where I live. But I figured this could be a fun guessing game for you guys to figure out where I live. So I'm researching more about him because a research request came in about wanting to find a picture of the finishing move that he did on Hackenschmidt. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Against George Hackenschmidt, who was the heavyweight world champion at the time when Frank Gotch versed him in 1908 and won the heavyweight world title. And of course, everybody, even from the WWE, WWE wrestling, pro wrestling, just even like high school wrestling in general, everybody knows who Frank Gotch is and who Farmer Burns is. And there was another one, Dan McLeod, because those were like the three major pioneers of what pro wrestling would turn into today. So I'm reading more, and I've been curious to research more of him anyways, and we do have his book. It's a biography pretty much of him. Of course, my hometown would have him since was born and raised here in our hometown and stayed here until he passed away. And he's buried in the big city cemetery that we have in a mausoleum. So I'm researching more about him because they want, this person wants to see if we might possibly have a picture. Well, I have no idea what move he's talking about, and I guess this person, I'm going to guess it's a he from the name, and if I'm wrong, I do apologize, but wants to know what the name of that and possibly if we have a picture. And he's saying it's almost like a suplex, almost like lifting him off his body and throwing him over his shoulder. And I'm like, the only move that I know that he popularized was the toe hold, which is right here, which is his finishing move when he got somebody down on the mat. And that would be technically his finishing move, so I have no idea what suplex type move this person is talking about. And he said that the newspapers were very vague on what the move was, and I'm like, well, my collections manager told me that the whole match in detail, and I have it sticky note off, is in this book, because it's been firsthand accounts from his coaches who watched the match that were still alive when this book came out. I'm going to guess by the binding, this book came out probably in the early 1900s, if not maybe the latest 1950. I'm not actually 100% sure when this book came out. I would love to know. Oh, that's the publisher, so I don't know if that's 1913. I want to say this came out actually, yep, it's copyright 1913 by Joseph B. Bowles. So technically, Gotch was still alive when this came out. So this is kind of like a biographical, maybe possibly autobiographical, if we have inserts of Gotch talking about it. So it came out about 5 years after his winning match. So anyways, but I'm going to research about him, but first, and I'm watching a couple of like, because there's videos and podcasts talking about it, like this guy who owns this YouTube channel called Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. So they're talking about World Champions series, and obviously Frank Gotch is in this one. And there's a few others too, because of Mike Chapman, who has visited our museum quite a few times, who is a huge historian for Frank Gotch. He's got a couple. And just reading. So I'm going to be reading about Frank Gotch about 12 o'clock. I do need to head over to the museum to wait for my the board treasurer to give me the things that she needs. So she says she can stop having it clutter all around her house. Half the time, if it's magazines and stuff, I just throw it away. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm doing for work today. I may take a break and maybe do some family research or some church research for our seasonal display. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So come along with me for my work day. Alright everybody, so it is much later. It's like 7:30 at night, I believe. I just said I can't find my phone and I have a big wall clock over here. Love that for me. So it's almost 8 o'clock and I decided I wanted to read a little bit, at least 50 more pages. Trying to at least read 50 to 100 pages each day. Sometimes that might not happen, but I am actually pretty good on the right track of my reading goal this year. So off to a great start. We'll see how the year pans out. But so I've read 50 pages and now I am on 200 in Twilight. We did get to the famous scene of Bella being followed and pretty much herded by some interesting men. Edward coming to her rescue. The whole restaurant scene and also the car scene afterwards. So right now, technically, I'm at the point where Edward takes her to school for the first time and is very interested in listening into answering Jessica's thoughts, which is, are they secretly dating? And how does Bella feel about Edward? I'm not gonna lie, like, the scenes are pretty cute. However, it also shows some red flags in Edward's behavior that foreshadows throughout the rest of the series of how he doesn't try to be controlling, but he's almost like manipulating Bella's emotions. Bella later on does find out his like tactics and how he acts, but it's just he almost uses like you should stay away from me and his danger side to like lure her in almost, and that's the way Bella's kind of acting, and it's like it's kind of it's not kind of, it's cheesy. Like, it's cheesy. A very cheesy trope to do with the bad boy and how alluring he is because he's different, charismatic, because we all know deep down inside he's not the bad guy, all that kind of stuff. Trying to break down the walls of the bad boy kind of like thing. Ugh. I like those tropes, I really do, but I just, when they're done well. But I'm not gonna lie, the scenes, it's very nostalgic, like reading this again, and especially finding out, I totally forgot that the movie had it where she like walked off into the forest. Edward follows her, and that's where the whole confrontation of finding out, you know, confessing that I know what you are. Instead, it happened in the car. And I totally forgot about that. And it kind of happened a little differently just because Bella was like trying to be nonchalant about it, but at the end she's like, I don't care what you are because I really think you're the good guy. Like, you're better than what you think you are. And of course that upsets Edward and sends him into like pretty much his own like little rage cloud, trying to keep himself composed. And that also is another red flag, is that I totally forgot that Edward actually is very quick to anger like Jacob is. Like, he's very hot-headed. And sometimes the hot-headedness, a lot of controlling aspects come out. And it's like... And very stalkerish tendencies. Because, like, one instance, it says... where's it at? Oh, at page 192, don't go into the woods alone. Like, having her promise that. Meaning that most likely he was following her in those woods, and there was probably something out there, the reason why he was following. But how would he know that if he wasn't following her? Like, I'm confused. So, or that should have left Bella, like, confused and wondering, oh my god, are you really actually stalking me? Because you followed me to Port Angeles, so... And it's because you have a sense of need to protect me. Bitch, I would be sitting there going, yeah, maybe you are dangerous because you're stalking me. Not this whole, oh my god, he's protecting me. Like, fangirling over him a little bit. And I'm like, no, this is dangerous. Stranger danger. Sorry, my thoughts are not very well composed because I literally tried reading after waking up from a 2-hour nap. So, but... I figured we would get some reading in tonight. I don't know if I'll read anymore. If I do, I'll probably pop back in with another reading montage. But I think I'm going to go watch a friend's stream on Twitch and kind of figure something else to do tonight. So. It is Friday, or Friday, and I wanted to... Yeah, Friday. Whatever. And I wanted to open the vlog today by reading. I got to page 260, so we read a little bit more than 50 pages today. And I meant to try to talk to you guys about this, like, right after I read, but my uncle showed up to put something upstairs in a storage room and sat down and talked for a little bit. So far my thoughts, we have gotten to the meadow scene. Pretty much we're in that chapter of the meadow scene. The beginning of it, and just leading up to that, it's just so weird because pretty much I forgot how they like started kind of like dating, was just answering a simple question of, well, yes, I'm your secret boyfriend, and I would like to know the answer, like I said yesterday, to the second question of how you really like me. And the one thing that baffles me so much that Edward was more upset about is that you really don't think I like you as much as you think you like me. Like, the whole thing, like, he acted hurt and kind of, like, a little dramatic, which, I mean, in a way, I guess that can be kind of not standoffish, but kind of, like, put you off a little bit, like, huh? And that kind of shows you to the inside of how Bella thinks of herself, which she doesn't think very highly of herself. She thinks she's very ordinary, but when she came to Forks, she was definitely not an ordinary girl. She was like this extravagant, beautiful woman that everybody wanted to date because pretty much everybody grew up with everybody in Forks High School. And, you know, and he points that out, if you could hear the voices that, you know, I hear from everybody else, you wouldn't be thinking that way. And Bella's just like, yeah, I don't believe you. But, like, through the whole thing of Edward, like, trying to intimidate and frighten Bella, and Bella's just like, nah, you fascinate me even more. You're making me more attracted to you, and I'm just like, this boy is actually really trying to intimidate you, even though he definitely hopes that it doesn't intimidate you enough to run away, but it's like a cat and a mouse chase, and it's like, what the heck? And I thought that it was really funny because she throws a tantrum again at something, and I think it was the first day that he took her home, or picked her up for school and took her home from school, and like actually sat and talked to each other, and I totally forgot about Edward's like 150 million questions that he kept asking, which he was trying to figure out because he could literally just read somebody's thoughts and kind of get the idea of the person, but very intrigued and fascinated. His family, obviously, they made a point they're on the fence about this, except for Alice. And of course, I put those, the scenes with little dialogue with Alice, I put with a purple sticky note, because I love Alice. Love her, hands down. She is probably the only character, one of the very few, I should say, characters that I really like from this series. I also like Charlie and Jasper, but you know. So it's definitely getting interesting, and I am enjoying, don't get me wrong, I am enjoying this reading. It's just, Edward and Bella really annoy me, and I wish they were not the main characters. I actually, to be honest, wish it was Alice and Jasper were the main characters. Just because it's just, the way the world building is going between Edward and Bella, it's very, very typical. And that's not even for me saying that because I read it before. It's very typical. Bella is still seen as supposed to be this woman. Sorry, I'm like flying around. Torch. Is supposed to be seen as this, you know, older, kind of not ordinary girl because she's always, you know, acted older than her age, but then she throws temper tantrums. Can't relate to that, to be honest. And then Edward being like this, supposed to be this brooding guy, but really, in all honesty, he's acting like a moody teenager. And sometimes even himself acting like a brat when things are not slightly going his way. And also you're starting to see even more red flags of his behavior and how controlling, and he tries to mask it saying that he's protecting her, but it's very controlling and very jealous tendencies for the behavior. So, but that's all I've read so far today, and don't really know what else to do, to be honest. I'm probably, actually what I probably should do is film a Sims video for next week. So I might do that. I will be making dinner here shortly. I'm going to be making pork chops, and yeah, so there's really not a whole lot going on today. Tomorrow we do have the RPG, so I probably will not vlog as much tomorrow, so I'll probably go into Sunday so that so we have a little bit more content, since there was like one day that I forgot to vlog and one day I hardly vlogged at all. So we are slowly cooking our way through Twilight. I was hoping to get this done for the vlog, but most likely I'm probably going to finish it after this vlog, and that's what's really got me thinking, to be honest. If I'm going to read books, something kind of like this physically, maybe doing more than just 1 week, and it just be solidly me just updating when I read this book, so that means it could be over a month span. So I may do that, something like that, because I noticed, I can't remember, there was a couple of booktubers that I've noticed that they do that, so it gives them more time to kind of read through, kind of take a pause, collect their thoughts, and then keep reading, kind of like type thing. I believe the Irish Reader, Kevin from the Irish Reader, I think he does that with some of the books that he read, and he read the Twilight series for the first time, and he's one of the booktubers that sparked me to do this, because, yeah, and give my actual honest thoughts of how I feel about it now. So, because of when he read through them, and sometimes I do play his, when he read through them for the first time, on the background when I'm doing stuff, so, yeah. But, anyways, yeah, I'm just rambling on now, so I'm probably gonna go, well, I guess I have laundry to do, and I think the dryer went off. A couple of other things to do, so I'm gonna go do those, and I do hope to maybe possibly get to reading some more later on, but my friend is going to be streaming tonight, so I'll also be watching that, so maybe we can get some more read before. Why am I holding this up like it's the book? Maybe get some more read before that stream starts, so, but I also need to film too, so anyways, I'll update you guys later. Hello everybody. So I had an idea. I was planning on doing a whole vlog, and it was just going to be 1 week that hopefully I could get Twilight read. Then I realized, I'm like, you know, like I was saying, I think it was on Friday, why don't I turn this into just a Twilight reading trip? Where it's going to just be me picking up the camera when I read Twilight, and then talking about what I've read so far. Kind of like, example is when Kevin from Irish Reader read Twilight for the first time, the whole saga, and basically did not just a week, but did it over, you know, a span of period of time. So I figured, you know, if this takes a few weeks, I'm still just gonna pick up the phone and keep bringing along a journey of rereading Twilight. So this will not be a vlog, but it's just going to be an experience. So if the clips before this are a little kind of jagged and rough, it's because I changed my mind halfway through. And I may put a intro to the video to explain this, so before this, so just fast forward if you've already read, obviously listen to the beginning. Yeah, so it's going to be definitely a trip, so hopefully I will pop in before I read, but this is just going to be a lot of like reading montages and me just talking about how I read. And I am trying to get better at, like, if I find something interesting, like reacting to you guys about it. It's just really hard for me sometimes because I could just want to keep reading, so just experimenting a little bit. So, but anyways, let's get to reading some Twilight. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna bend down and talk quietly because I don't want to change my camera angle. But we're further into the meadow scene after Edward kind of has his weird breakdown moment of, you know, why Bella should be afraid of him for the dangerous creature that he is, or monster, instead of her being afraid of actually the reason why she's so nervous being with him in the meadow. We're now to comparing her to a brand of heroin for him. So like her blood is a addicting drug, and he's very appealing to him. And then they talk about, and I totally forgot about Emmett, who said that he totally understood because there was 2 people like that in his life, because he's been on the bandwagon the longest, I guess, so to speak, from 268. And said that one was stronger than the other. And of course Bella asked, like, what did he say? What did Emmett do? And of course by Edward's expression she could about imagine what he did, which he did fall off the bandwagon, and the appeal and the aroma was too much, and it ended up probably killing the person. And she asked, "What are you asking? My permission?" My voice was sharper than I intended. I tried to make my tone kinder. This is on 269. I could guess what his honesty must cost him. I mean, is there no hope then? He calmly, I could discuss my own death. Like she was about ready to die for this man. Already. What the flip? I'm so confused that he... what? I was planning on putting a red flag on this one, but I might be putting an orange one on this because this has me annoyed. Because it's like, even then, Edward wasn't pointing at that he was going to fall off the bandwagon or asking permission. He was just trying to put an analogy out there that he's never had this happen before, but he thinks he can be strong enough. And you just assume, and you want to just lay down your life for him. I mean, granted, what is she going to do? She can't run, but... Anyways, I'm going to keep reading. Okay, I forgot further down the same page, I'm still on 269, that he took, it says, when you walked past me, I would have ruined everything Carlisle has built for us right then and there. If I hadn't been denying my first thirst for the last, well, too many years, I wouldn't have been able to stop myself. He paused, scowling at the trees. Now, I have read a little bit of Midnight Sun, and I think he talks about that at one point he wanted to die, so he deprived himself of drinking blood, but it ended up in a, well, excuse my French, a shit show. But, so I don't know if he's like referring to that, or if he was just referring to, you know, denying himself human blood for so long. But in a way, it does make sense with his very strong instinct reaction and why his eyes were dark that day. But also, I think they go dark when they're trying to suppress, like, because they go dark when they kind of give over to their instincts, and he was suppressing them really hard. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting and kind of a cool theory, because I'm pretty sure that he's tried to, like, fast to try to pretty much unalive himself. But it ended up not really succeeding, and it ended up, I think he, like, ended up massacring a whole bunch of people. Or drinking blood from a whole bunch of people and killing them, but I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I know it's been a while since I've updated any reading. This whole reading as I go thing has definitely taken a lot longer than it should be, but you know, it's actually a lot more enjoyable, to be honest, and not as stressful to try to get a book done in a week. So, especially with my busy schedule. But if you can see, we are making good progress, and we are probably on the back fourth of Twilight. And I did stop, I think it was at chapter 18, and stopped right when the three kind of like nomads show up. That has like Victoria, James, and Laurent. So that's where I'm currently at. And so far, I've been kind of trying to think of a rating for this book so far. And hear me out. I think I am going to give it like a 4 out of 5. The reason why I'm not going to give it a 5 is because there is like some major like publishing and editor issues in this book that I didn't realize, like they kind of add up to the point where it's just like, what, how did this editor let this book go off the press? Because there was a couple of areas, one being scene, thinking that they were just doing something else in a scene, and then it just, I don't know, where somehow the next scene is supposed to make sense. One of them is a great example that when Edward kind of shows up for the first night, staying overnight, somehow, supposedly, he was supposed to be, when Charlie came to come check up on Bella, because she kind of faced away from the door, she was on her side, because she explains that she sleeps on her side, and I don't know where Field's arms wrap around her, unless they're not supposed to be spooning in that scene. I thought they were supposed to be spooning, and then out of nowhere, and it doesn't say when Bella turns over, and somehow he has his hand on her face, like, and looking up. When did she turn over? Like, I'm confused. Like, you need to kind of give that. Otherwise, it's like, is it like hand on face like this while she's facing away from him? Or what's going on? Like, little details like that kind of was like, huh? How did this happen? A couple of other issues is just, and it might be just personally me, it's just, it just feels like the author is really, really trying to ram so much of Edward being this brooding boy. I'm guessing to kind of have like a juxtaposition to when he finally lets out his true personality as Bella gets to know him more and they start dating in the book. But it just, and then also that Bella is not like other girls, even though it just feels like she acts like every other girl at that age in high school. I mean, for God's sakes, if you're supposed to make this girl supposed to be older beyond her years and more wise beyond her years, more mature, then why have her have literally 5-year-old tantrums of stomping around when she gets angry? Unless you're trying to show an example of, you know, she is wise beyond her years, but it was because she was forced, because her mom is a very free spirit, or something along those lines. Like, it just wasn't really done well, and I really didn't like it. It just, those were my major issues, minus, I wouldn't even say the red flags were totally an issue, even though there was so many red flags with Edward's behavior, that the controlling thing is just toxic. Like, oh, I have this powerful vampire boyfriend looking after me, and he's so protective, and oh my god, no, even if he's protecting you, he should be able to let you have your own decisions and be able to do things. And I mean, those red flags will continue out throughout the whole series until Edward gets through his head that maybe I should trust Bella to make the right decisions for herself. Even then, it sometimes didn't even happen. Like, he has that thought and still does the opposite. It's because I love her so much, says every mentally abusive relationship ever. So, but to be honest, I will have to say I'm enjoying it. There was aspects of, like, the story that I did enjoy, and still do. And also the memories that it brings back. Charlie, I forgot how more sarcastic he is in the book, and just how so caring he is, and just trying to be a doting father to Bella, and it's just, he tries. And we like a boy that tries. But anyways, I figured I would pop in as well, and now that I have my new phone, and it's really great, and I'm gonna start using the back camera more on this phone, because it's, oh my god, the video quality is so much better on the S21, just saying. But we're gonna get to some reading and maybe hopefully finish this book today so that I have enough time to edit this video for next month. Okay, I'm not going to spend the time to like flip, so you're just going to see my hands, because it's just going to take too much time to try to flip the camera while I'm reading. But this line here on page 379, Edward stays tense like a lion in front of me. This is when James now finds out, gets the sniff that Bella is not a vampire, she's a human. And I'm just sitting here, all I can think about is like the stance and like, Robert's face, the actor for Twilight, just seeing his like tense face of supposed to like look menacing and dark and like pose like a lion, but in a way, the first time I saw that, I freaking laughed hysterically because it did not look menacing at all. It looked like he was trying to fight constipation on the toilet. I'm laughing. Probably after this book, I may have to update the way my sticky notes are, because I've been kind of using green for I like this / funny moments. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm going to keep reading. Okay, so it's a little bit later, and I'm on page 447. What are my bangs doing? Okay, that's not... I wish they would have put this in the movie, because it would explain Alice's backstory a lot more for people who didn't have any interest in reading the books, and not go, what? Of Alice's backstory? Because supposedly Alice's backstory is that technically she, for her weird supernatural beings in the 1920s, her parents threw her into an asylum. And that's where she was. And a vampire, an older vampire, was fascinated by Alice. And James had happened to found her, was very enticed with her smell of her blood, and that is what triggered the hunt for him. Well, the older vampire caught wind of it and went to protect her and took her out of the asylum to protect her. However, and then turned her into a vampire. So, and it explains on page 447 all the way through 448 of what happened to her, and the reason why she's a vampire now is because of James and that older vampire. And he did end up killing that older vampire. And out of Alice's trauma, doesn't remember anything from her human life because of the trauma from the asylum, being electrotherapied and all of that, and kept practically in a hellhole. So that's the reason why she doesn't remember a whole lot of her existence as a human or how she turned. So that explains a lot, and I completely forgot it says it in the book, but it wasn't in the movie, and I wish they would have kept that in the movie to give Alice's character just a little bit more depth. But anyways, I'm going to keep reading because I am now on chapter 23. I just wanted to pop in on that. So hopefully I get this finished tonight. Okay, everybody. I have just finished my reread of Twilight in... Oh my Lanta, I forgot how fast-paced at the end of this book gets. Wow. But it also felt like it was so drawn on. Maybe it's just because I know what's going to happen. Maybe that's why. But I think I'm going to keep my rating still, and it is on my Goodreads, 4 out of 5, just because there was some more editing issues. Now, people can make mistakes in editing. It happens. I'm not perfect in it either, but it's just some sentences didn't sound right together. There's one I think I pointed out later on. Oh, where is it? It's on page 437. The minutes passed and Edward's arrival grew closer. It was amazing how every cell in my body seemed to know he was coming. Too long for this coming. sound right. I mean, 2 is spelled wrong because it was supposed to be T-O-O. But long for this coming. Instead, I would have said too long waiting for his arrival. It just did not sound right to me. And there is like sentences sprinkled throughout the book that's like that. It just doesn't roll. Like, I have to say it. If I have to say it, and it doesn't roll off the tongue, then you can just imagine me trying to reread it in my head and it just not sounding right. So, but other than that, I did enjoy it. It did spark memories of, you know, sometimes remembering where I was reading these scenes for the first time. And I do enjoy the story, and I love Alice so much in this. It just seems like she has more of a personality in the books than she did the movie. And especially leaving out like key components, especially in the first movie, of her, of understanding who she is and her backstory. I mean, everybody else got that in the movie. Like Rosalie, Jasper, and Emmett kind of did, even though it was brief and it didn't have a flashback like Jasper and Rosalie did, or Emmett and Esme, even though Esme again was a brief flashback. But come on, Alice's, you like jibbed my girl. You jibbed my girl, who is like an integral person in the Cullen family because she can foresee the future. Like, come on. So I'm a little salty on that. But other than that, yeah. So thank you so much for coming along on this. This is definitely a chaotic video for this read through because I changed my mind halfway through. But I think I'm going to stick it to this because it just seems it's a lot less stressful for me, where I can just read when I feel like picking it up. As you can tell, it definitely kept me intrigued and not as much of a, so it's probably only been like maybe a 2-week span at most to read this book because I was interested in reading it again. So don't let that, like, my critiques on it fool you. I did enjoy reading the book. So, and definitely I'm going to pick up maybe even today or tomorrow the second book and start getting on our read through of New Moon, which will be out probably in March. I'm going to release one each month to month. So, but anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to stick around and for this reread of Twilight series, or want to stick around for more fun videos on this channel, I do post every Mondays under Ginger Books, fun bookish content like this, and fun Sims content under Ginger Snaps Gaming 19, full of Sims and Let's Plays and renovations and builds and fun. But thank you so much for watching again, and I hope everybody has a great start to their week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hey everybody, editing me here. I just wanted to pop up on here and just thank you guys so much for allowing me to take some time to process and heal the passing of little dog Shadow. And also I really loved and appreciated all of your comments on that video. As you can tell in a couple of instances, I kind of posted saying, look at little Shadow curled up next to me. It definitely kind of made me a little teary-eyed editing this video, just because, you know, these are the last clips I have of him actually being alive, because then a few weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks later, I did have to put him down. So, but thank you so much for understanding, and of course we are back to original content, so thank you so much for understanding, and I am doing a lot better. It's still kind of rough some days, and I do miss him a lot, but it is getting easier. Obviously, I cannot fill the hole that he kind of has left, but it's slowly healing. So, but thank you so much. And again, as I said, we're back to regular content. So thank you so much, guys, for hanging in there. And I will obviously see you in the next video, which is Sims. So thank you so much, guys.